Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Prost. Welcome back to the 1 Liter Podcast. We are your hosts, Joel and Philly G.
So we're keeping the ball rolling. This is an exciting podcast.
It's exciting.
We're establishing a bit more ground rules. We've got the quick response. Give me the fucking answers. We got this for a bit of fun.
We got Phil's fun facts always to kick us off.
Hit it.
And then we got the movies. We also forgot to do another poll on the last one, obviously. So
read the poll now. So we've got a new poll. Please choose which movie you'd like us to watch and review.
These are the 3 choices for next episode. Is 1, Role Models. Good one. 2, Zoolander. Nice.
It's popular right now.
Exactly.
And I haven't seen it in ages and I loved it.
Yeah. And 3, What Women Want.
Ooh, changing it up with the Mel Gibson.
Damn.
It's not Susan Sarandon. It's what's a woman's name in it? Meg Ryan, bro.
Yeah. No. Wait, what?
She's from Twister.
No games, just sports.
What?
That's in the movie, bro. You'll see.
I don't remember
if we
that.
end up watching that one.
It's not Meg Ryan. It's fucking Helen Hunt. Dude, I thought of that.
I also didn't explain the poll very well, so it's on Spotify only. So if you're listening on Spotify, as you're on the podcast page, or if you're watching the video, you literally just scroll down and you'll see the 3 options and you just pick an option. That's how you vote. Please vote. It's all only for a limited time too. So if you're watching this later, don't bother.
As well, at the end of this video that you're watching now on Spotify, we'll have the poll up, but at the same time, you can leave comments in as well. So you can also put the movie you want and then some specific notes that you want us to point out.
Oh, yes.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
One thing I really like is to watch movies where
Someone's told you something? Or?
No. The stunt double's like really obvious. So if someone knew that and said, Joel, watch this film. At this scene here, you can't fucking I'll be like all over that.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
exactly.
Yeah, that's a guy.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
Give me those stunt doubles.
All right, give us those fun
They're
facts.
They're the 3 movies. We'll do that. For this episode, we actually just picked the one that came second on the poll because we obviously didn't create a new poll. So, Phil's fun fact. This one here, Joel. Did you know that almonds, technically are a part of the peach family?
What?
They're not nuts. They're not classed as a nut.
What are they? Undefined peach seeds?
They are classed as a drupe. Drupes. And a drupe is a fruits that are fleshy on the outside with a shell covering a seed. So an almond is a seed.
Interesting.
So it's the same as if we were snacking on the seed of a peach.
Yeah. Okay, well, what fruit is covering the almond? Is it?
It's not something we eat.
It's
so
not
we just ditch the fleshy part.
Okay,
But it's it looks like a little pocket.
Are we missing out on a delicious fruit?
I don't think so. I think it's very thin. It's not.
Okay.
It's not just like a peach.
So it's almost like a what are the white ones? The white gooey. Dude.
Macadamia?
No, the fruit.
White fruit.
Yeah.
Gooey white fruit.
Yeah, it's circular. Fuck.
Banana?
Gooey
white
it's a berry.
fruit.
It's berry. It's a white berry and it's got the spiky shell.
Oh.
It's,
spiky. I know the one you're talking about. I've got no freaking idea. I'll never.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious that we don't know that.
Hold on.
If you know it, put it in the comments section.
No, I got this.
Joel's got the googs. Remember when we mentioned what we would do or the abilities you would have if Google didn't exist? I really wanted to elaborate. Could you imagine if everything else was the same? We had all the communication and everything, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, text messages, but we didn't have a Google, like a central hub of information. Could you imagine that? You just have to make shit up in conversations like this. There would be no way of quickly looking something up unless you want to get like a thesaurus and
Bro.
start flicking through it.
I came from a time, right? I remember when I was really young and that System of Down song came out. Wake up! Wake up! And there was like
Sounds like Will Ferrell.
You'd have to go on what? Explain.
Look at Will Ferrell and listen to that song. His voice sounds like Will Ferrell.
Oh, I'd have to watch that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I might
Coming
even have
out
to
of a cage and now I'm doing just
I might
fine.
even have to
Everything
play
like-
it just to get your reaction.
Everyone thinks that sounds like Jerry Seinfeld. But
Oh,
I remember you'd have to like download something on LimeWire or something, right? And there was one before it starting with a K. I can't remember the name. If you know, put it in the comments. But I remember my older brother's girlfriend at the time, like she would take the Windows computer we had, press a few buttons, and next minute she could get the System of a Down video up. And he used to be like, the internet's amazing. How do I do
Yeah.
it? And then one day someone's like, oh, dude, have you ever heard of YouTube? You can watch anything you want. YouTube is
I
literally
love YouTube.
YouTube saved everything.
What was the first memorable thing you saw on YouTube and you were like, oh my God, this platform could be a thing?
Probably the hamster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was probably it. Yeah.
My one was like where it was first like two young guys, same as me, making something of themselves with Smosh
Oh, true.
with the
yeah.
Pokemon video.
Yeah, dude, I love Smosh in high school. The rock one. It was like
Oh, with all the editing, at the rock.
no. It
No?
was the lychee. It was lychee. That was the food I was thinking of. Lychee. Is it like lychee where it's like a little bit of flesh and then the almond on the inside?
Yeah.
Dude, the pregnancy, the awareness one. Fun fact, did you know you can, it's just like, you don't even know your basketball? Maybe you don't even know who Dennis Radman is? You should watch my basketball. Sex Ed Rocks. That's what it
Right.
was. Smosh. Sex Ed Rocks. It was dope. Dude, that is fascinating. Peach. It's related to peach.
Peach.
So if they
Could you imagine biting down on a peach seed?
and can you
Lose
imagine?
teeth?
Can you imagine biting into if there was the most perfect fruit in the world? When you bite into it, the seed is like an almond, so you can still crack through it.
Yeah.
So you got the double flavor. That'd
Yeah.
be so dope.
Imagine eating that full almond fruit.
Oh,
Damn.
dude, the in the Avatar, the first Avatar, when he's like first getting his legs and he's running around in the Avatar form, and Sigourney Weaver's character throws him that fruit and he catches it and he like, and he's like, no. I was like, bro, what is that fruit?
Give me some.
I want that fruit. Yeah. All right. So
Do you want to introduce the viewers, the listeners, to the movie we're about to discuss?
hell yeah. I
They'll
do.
probably know from the title of this episode, but
George of the Jungle, 1997. Brendan Fraser. Right. Okay, so we all had great memories about this film. Everyone loves Brendan Fraser. Phil and I literally just watched it.
just now.
I've always feared
Oh,
certain projects. What am I saying? There has been a lot of films that I've thought about in the last like maybe 5 or 6 years where I'm like, man, I watched that as a kid. I need to watch that again. One Lonely Night, I'll watch it. Trash. Because all that, I don't want to say all that childhood spark in my eye is gone, but like
yeah.
we're just too cynical now. You can see through all of it. And a lot of our notes are very much
Yes.
like this, like George of the Jungle was a Disney film. It's supposed to be fun, playful. They break the fourth wall millions of times, but there's some things you just can't overlook.
Mm-hmm. I want to get your first impression after watching that again. What are your thoughts?
Creative.
It's a very polite one. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's good.
It's
Yeah,
Brendan
it was
Fraser.
very interesting.
What
Yeah,
about
it's
you?
Brendan Fraser.
If you could sum it up in one word,
One word. Oh, cheesy.
light bulb. Cheesy.
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 Very cheesy. My first note was actually to do with a theme song. It was like, what other movies do you have that have such an iconic theme song that is like completely tied to the title of the movie? Like George of the Jungle, strong as he can be.
Sing the George of the Jungle song in a Chinese accent.
I can't do that.
3, 2.
George.
One.
What's a Chinese? What do you mean? He got me.
I think the good thing about this as well, even if we give this movie a bad review, you may have a different opinion to us. So it'll encourage you to want to watch it. So at the end of the day, we're doing a service because we all love film. Film can never die, despite
I
everything else in the world going on.
don't actually want to shit on this movie. Like, I remember it
was
being
fun.
Yeah, I remember it being. I do remember it being much better than what it was just now. But I was very young, and one of my notes actually is that I don't remember it being such a kids movie. Like, it's a huge, and you said halfway through the movie, you're like, this is like a chick flick, like kids movie chick flick. Like, I had memories differently.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely
It was super kids movie.
it was
man.
a kids romance movie. It was like for young girls to just like gawk over, you know?
But every time, every kids movie, including like Disney cartoons, there's always jokes that are made for the parents, for the adults. Sexual innuendos.
I mean, the poor parents of the people have to be dragged by their children to go in there, so you got to keep them entertained. And you know what? That's a good dichotomy, man. It makes things funner, right?
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
have friends with kids now that have to like watch Dora the Explorer. I do not envy them.
Nah.
Damn, I'd watch Disney movies happily.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get right into Frozen.
Nah, see, when I have kids, I'm gonna have them watching The Simpsons
The Simpsons
or South Park.
I see. Mine won't.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm gonna have no choice. They're obviously gonna watch Peppa Pig and fucking
South Park, you're
Kids
probably
Park.
gonna have to wait a little while. It's
Yeah, I'll probably
a
wait
bit
till about
rough.
10 years old.
Yeah.
For sure.
10 years old. Yeah.
But Simpsons, dude.
Look at this.
Yeah.
These are current topics, man.
Dude, the good news is like a cartoon's a cartoon and kids like cartoons. If I tried to get a kid to watch a black and white film, it would be difficult. But
Oh yeah.
when I was younger, when I had shows like Dragon Ball Z, fucking Are Real Monsters, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold, these really good modern cartoons for the time, I was still watching what was it called? Boomerang on Cartoon Network, which is like Flintstones, Jetsons, Scooby Doo, the old school ones. They were still like, oh man, it's a cartoon, it's all right. But I still watched them and sometimes they're entertaining. So, I mean, a kid's not going to see Simpsons and be like, why is it all pixely? You know, like Peppa Pig's
yeah,
like crisp, 1080p. So we'll see
Yeah.
how we go.
Why aren't there 3D?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
3D animation. They'll be used to that. But it depends. Like, you could show your kids black and white movies when they're real young and they might learn to appreciate them for what they are. I don't even appreciate black and white films.
Yeah, man. It's weird. It's like a drug for me. It's
But
like,
I also don't watch like mainstream shows. I didn't watch. Wow, that's a lie.
that's fine, dude.
I
I
didn't
didn't
watch
listen to
The
mainstream
Simpsons,
music. I feel like everyone's detached from the norm in some way, you know?
Everyone wants to not be mainstream. Everyone has some sort of niche where they're like, no, I'm not like everybody else. Whether it's music, they're like, no, man, I like this kind of music. I like hard styles. That's not the norm. Or if it's
I'm not
films
ordinary.
or shows, Simpsons, I don't like. That's me. Simpsons. But I watched a little bit of Family Guy.
Yeah, I watched Family Guy in the first 2 seasons and then it got really commercial. And then I just stopped liking it.
I saw a recent Family Guy episode not too
Funny?
long ago. No, they really went just way over the top with
Yeah.
like Peter.
You think that's bad?
Peter's just trying to be funny in every way possible. And they like, there's too many things with no consequences. Like he gets hit by a car or something. And then he's just like,
let's keep walking. Yeah,
like,
no.
oh yeah, funny. Haha.
I don't play that. Homer Simpson will get hit by a car, and like the next episode will be like 6 months later while he's recovering and shit, and he's still be in a car. There was one episode of The Simpsons, right, where Homer's at a banquet, and they erect a statue of the Simpsons equivalent of Mike Tyson, Drederick Tatum,
Mm.
and I think Homer comes in drunk on a donkey or something. Embarrasses himself, pisses off Drederick Tatum. He's running from this pro boxer, and there's a statue of the boxer punching, and he turns, crack, and he actually breaks his jaw. So the whole episode, Homer's had his jaw wide, and he doesn't talk the whole episode. So like he becomes like he listens more, and he's more engaged with Marge and the family and people like random strangers are like, you're really nice, you listen to me, and Homer becomes real sweet.
Yeah.
And on the end, he takes the thing off and he reverts back to his ways.
Yeah. So they built the whole episode around the consequence of that event. Yeah,
I'm sure
like
Family Guy have done something similar, but look at what my Quagmire's doing. Lois, shut up, man. It's just so I fucking hate Family Guy, bro.
Really? No,
Hate it.
I like some of the OG clips.
Mm.
Like the Where's My Money? Brian and Stewie.
Oh, yeah.
Where's
See,
my money?
I didn't find that funny or entertaining.
No, I
As
thought
a
it was great.
baby beating the shit out of a dog, bloody, like a mafia boss, it just wasn't funny to
I think
me.
that's hilarious.
If it was real life, like
Or-
slapstick real life, I'd find that classic.
Or where Stewie gets on roids.
Didn't re-
I'm so vascular, Brian. You haven't seen that?
Haven't seen
Oh,
that
I'll
one,
show you
no.
later. It's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
South Park do an episode where the crippled kid Jimmy does roids and works out because he's joining the Special Olympics. And then he gets like roid rage and bashes his girlfriend with his.
Well,
And he's
that's
like-
not that funny.
It's not funny, but he's like, "You fucking bitches!" And then he go and it's playing that, and he like goes in the hallway. He's like, he's like crying. He's like, it's like a full. He goes from 0 to 100.
That's
roid
exactly
rage.
South Park right there.
Yeah,
The dramatic
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
With like the silly voices.
It's classic. Where are you reaching for that gun, bro?
I keep reaching for the Nerf gun. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, but
Don't.
I read something the other day which I found interesting. Mr. Bean. I don't even know if this is true.
Rowan Atkinson
Yeah.
is an alien.
Okay, I wasn't going to go there, but Mr. Bean, apparently there was only, I think it said 15 episodes
Yeah.
of the entire Mr. Bean. It feels like there was like seasons and seasons where we found like episodes from crazy season from ages ago.
I think I only watched like 2 Mr. Bean episodes and loved it, but it was never on the TV that I used to watch. And I was like,
I don't think I've ever watched a full episode.
Here's the
I've
thing,
seen
though.
like clips.
I probably watched an episode of it maybe like 4 years ago on YouTube one night. I was like, fuck, this is like funny, but like it would have been funny if I was a kid. Like now it's
Mm.
kind of just like frustrating funny. Like there
It's-
are some gangster shit where he's like on top of his car and he always flips the 3-wheel car, and like the one where he goes into the art gallery and he's painting. It's funny shit. Like, and I love Rowan Atkinson. Like Blackadder was dope, but like
And it's like physical comedy though, because he had
physical
no
comedies,
dialogue.
people never really do it anymore like that.
Mm.
I appreciate it.
It's probably because we're too like we've seen it now. You can't really replicate it. Just like what we said the other day, maybe we said it off the show where we were talking about Jim Carrey. You can't replicate a Jim Carrey kind of character now, like an Ace Ventura, because everyone will just go, "Oh yeah, you're just copying. You're trying to be Jim Carrey."
Or they just pull it apart like we do with films.
Yeah,
Like people won't even reference Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura. They'll just be like, nobody would act like that. What a fucking idiot.
yeah. What an idiot!
Yeah.
Overacting.
Overacting, yeah.
Big thing. Big thing.
It is. What's your first note for George of the Jungle, my friend?
So apart from the song, the first thing I put down there was
No. Let's discuss the song.
what? Yeah, like what other
It
film?
was like a cartoon intro. It was like George, and it had like all these.
Exactly. My first thought was, what other film has a song that has the title of the film in it and is specifically a jingle for that film?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't think of any. That's why I wrote that down.
There are some out there, but good point.
Can you think of one?
Um,
Because that
no, I can't think of
George,
it.
George. You're literally singing the title of the film,
Film.
and it's even got the
Yeah.
in the song.
Yeah.
And then the joke of him hitting trees. Like, it's a song that's literally, it feels like it's designed for 4-year-olds to be like, George of the Jungle, watch out for the tree.
Yeah. It's easy. Yeah. So
Little
off the-
point.
straight off the bat, it's a kid's film. My first note is the antagonist's name is Lyle Vandergroot. He comes from old money.
By the looks of it. We
so-
never actually get confirmation. I was looking for it.
But the dude was dressed like an 1800s explorer when everyone was like 90s fat drip, you know? And so one thing I noticed is like at the start of the film, you don't really know what the fuck's going on. Like this chick, Ursula, the love interest of George.
Why is she in the jungle?
Why is she in the jungle? There's no specific thing that she's looking for. She's not going to see a certain waterfall that near George or something. She's just in the fucking jungle being a rich white American, right? She's got 4 natives who are like, like Sherpas almost. And then she's got her dickhole fucking fiance to be
Who rocks up?
who rocks up
I love the
unbeknownst.
reaction each time when she sees him through the binoculars.
She fully jumps. Yeah, like it's like a physical revulsion.
What are you doing here?
Lyle Vandergroot, like from the Vandergroot Industries. It just sounds greasy as
It sounds
fuck.
like something from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, really?
The Vandergroot.
So in comes this butthole. So she's happy. She's in her zone. She's fucking. I'm in Africa. not taking the piss out of her. Like she was a great character, great actress.
She is a great actress.
She was. I'm surprised
Leslie Mann.
disappears and has kids. Like I'm sure she did a ton of films, but like I needed more. I want more of her now,
Yeah.
But she always plays like a jaded 40-year-old mother now, like a wife.
I feel like she's always the friend too. She's never like the main character. She's
Yeah.
always the friend or the sister or something of rom-coms. She's the friend or sister of rom-coms, except for like the one I mentioned where they're 40. What's it called? This is 40 with Paul Rudd.
I never saw
Sexiest
that one.
Man
Oh
Alive.
yeah, no, I did
This
see
is
that
40,
one.
yeah.
And there was also Knocked Up here.
Exactly, and they're the same couple. I was wondering whether they were going to connect the movies,
I think
but they
Knocked
didn't.
Up came out first, so I think they would have been like, let's give these guys
Yeah.
a film. Maybe they played the same characters.
They don't. Because
Oh,
I
true.
looked for that. I was like, is this like an extension of Knocked Up? But it wasn't. Sad.
So my note was that you give a cigar, I give you some of your land. So basically,
He thinks he can bribe the
He
natives
thinks he can
with
bribe the-
cigars and like,
because they're agitated with his pussiness, right? He's just a big pussy, and he says to them,
he's on his mobile phone in 1997 trying to book this hotel where they can go to instead of staying in these tents because he's too much of a bitch to camp.
"What a douche!" Eh? And he says to them, "I give you cigars, you give me some of your lands." It was just so like the writer was. It was a bit weird of the writer to do that. I just wanted to bring that up.
Cheese. Just absolute cheese.
The narrator is the man breaks the fourth wall. The narrator did break the fourth wall a lot. To
Yeah,
the point where,
I do like the narrator theme throughout it, and at the end, the bad guy having an argument with the narrator, or the narrator says something and then she copies that exact line.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I do like that.
All right, what do you got?
I got the strength of him. Like he's lean. He did get pretty lean, old Brendan Fraser.
The dude was an Adonis, man.
I'm going to go to one of my other notes because we're talking about how lean Brendan Fraser was.
Yeah, bit
Those two actors,
getting way too gay, dude. Yeah,
those two actors, Brendan Fraser and Leslie Mann, they aged very differently.
Oh man,
She's still very good looking.
Brendan had a rough go of things, man. We got to cut him some slack. The dude's the man.
I don't know this. I'm just looking in from the outside. I don't know his story, but
Yeah, a bit of
that
a rough
is,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
He-
it was nothing to do with his acting. He just had a bit of rough go outside of it, you know.
Okay.
But good point. I wrote George wouldn't have eaten a lot of sugar, so his teeth wouldn't be rotting all that bad, unless we factor in fructose from a lot of the fruit.
Are his
here's the
teeth
thing.
rotting?
Again, no. But here's the thing.
His teeth are like perfect.
Here's the thing that I brought up in other podcasts as well, as like you can watch a period film and it's like a couple like Romeo and Juliet will fall in love, right? It's like knights and kings and queens and whatever and lords and you don't they're like glaze the lens and everything's romantic, but I'm sitting there thinking, man, what do they smell like?
This guy would stink.
I know. So like George has been chilling in the jungle. He'd probably have that BO so strong that it makes your eyes water.
Wait, I have a thought on this, right?
Go on.
What if he smells more just like nature, like
organic?
dirt,
That would be cool. Dirt smells.
like dirt, and his BO would be there, but it would be more like a
Subtle.
hopefully not so much of a sour.
Yeah.
Like it would be more like a musky dirt.
I think you could be right. I think you're right onto something. But when you think about it, like when you're a kid, when you smell dirt, you're like, oh, it's dirt. But when you smell dirt now as an adult, like really proper dense dirt, you're like, fuck, that smells good.
Oh,
Dude, dirt smells great.
and when you were a kid, did you not eat it? Was that just me?
I got a funny story. When I was
Really?
when I was in kindergarten, I have a vivid memory. It's so vivid I can see it through my eyes now. I remember this. I'd sit there and I had two best friends in kindergarten, right? And one of them loved to get his food, throw it on the ground, and eat it with the dirt in it. And so me and my other friend were like, okay, we'll try it with you. I was like fresh white ham sandwiches, chucked it in the dirt, both sides,
Like proper sandy dirt.
proper sandy dirt, and I ate that shit. I only did it once, but I remember being
But
like
he did that on the reg.
on the reg. But we were good friends, bro. We couldn't leave him hanging. And me and
Yeah.
my friend looked at each other and we were like, man, it's really good. Like, I'm not gonna be the one to show my weakness. This is like kindergarten, year like
Wow.
5 or 6 years old. Yeah.
I remember being in like a sand pit and being like, I wonder what this tastes like.
Oh, true. Do you know what also I remember from that same kindergarten? It sticks in my head. I remember it was there was me, those two dudes I was with, a couple of other people, and then we had like one girl in our group. Because it was kindergarten, you just ran on jumble gyms and painted with your hands, and then sleep time, guys. It was like that, right? But then we had this one girl who used to play around in our group. I don't remember her name. All I can see is the back of her head. She was a little short girl, brown hair. It's all I can see in my head. I can't see her face. But I remember one day her mum picked her up before me, and I went, "See you later. Hey." Or something like that. She turned around and looked at me. I can't remember what her face looked like. And she said, "Hey is what horses eat." And kept walking. And I remember, and then I think my mum was there as well, picking me up. And then I remember her mum and my mum looked at each other and went, and kept going. And
Straight out the mother's mouth.
Yeah. And I remember looking at each other, both of them going, "There's like a thing with women. They have like a silent agreement."
Little did you know it was just adults.
Yeah.
Just communicating via looks.
Yeah.
Parents just being like, I don't know why my daughter just said that.
If my daughter, if like someone else's daughter said that to my son or my daughter, I'd look at that one, I'd be like, "Fuck, your kid's cool. That's pretty cool." I'd be like,
wow.
Yeah. And I'd
You
be
obviously say that, bro.
yeah. And then I try to distract my child from thinking they're an idiot or anything, because at that age, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, "Oh, okay." I wanted to keep talking to her, but she said horses, and walked off. So I was like, "Okay, hey, mom," But I would have knelt down and been like, "Hey, that's true, Do you know that stuff horses eat? The stringy stuff? That's called hay. You learned something.
You learned something new.
Strong,
Now
encouraging."
stop being so stupid
Yeah.
and know what horses eat.
Yeah, you little fucker. All right, so we got apes read textbooks, but George doesn't know the difference. So this is one of my notes.
Okay, yeah. You
Ursula-
got deep here.
Yeah, so again, we're not going to describe the whole film. Basically, a lion attacks. George saves his love interest, Ursula, from a lion. Vandercock, whatever his name is, gets left behind. So he thinks Tarzan, George, has stolen his woman, and he rallies everyone, "Let's go find
And
her."
he talks it up, obviously, makes it look like he bled and fought.
I was injured. Yeah,
but
grabbed
he
some
tripped. He
poisonous
tripped and
berries.
passed out.
Yeah. And so George is nursing her back to health in his fucking dope tree bungalow. Like, would have taken him months to rig that fucking place up. Gang. And obviously there's like, he's still got heirlooms from the original plane crash, or his plane crash.
This is kind of what I wanted to touch on as well, because I did not remember it being like that. I thought it was more like a Tarzan scenario where he's actually in the wild with the animals, but he literally builds this whole tree house, knows how to speak broken English, reads textbooks, his monkey talks. Like I did not remember all of that from my memory of watching it way back when.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? Like, he's just living this. He's glamping. He's not even camping. He is proper glamping. He's built a wooden elevator that takes him up to his treehouse.
Far too convenient.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, and I mean, let's be honest, like, search parties would not have stopped until they found the rest of that plane, and that forest didn't look that dense.
But they only lost the baby, according to the cartoon. At the
Yeah, but
start.
like, come on, dude. If you're a parent and like they stopped funding expeditions to find the baby, you're gonna go by yourself, bro. Come on. So, anyways,
Yeah, but they would have just assumed lion, nom nom nom, done.
not even that. It's the fact that the baby like fell out of a fucking plane, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and
And then but I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
remains.
yeah, the baby's
There wouldn't be
gone.
any remains. It's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
It's gone, man.
Would you want closure? Would you want to go and find the remains though? If not, devoured.
Probably depends.
At
Depends
the-
who you are.
Tutti frutti,
Yeah. Depends who you are. If you can fund that kind of
The
shit.
local government should have done that shit, dude. It would have been good
Nah,
PR.
no way. No way.
So, anyways, he's nursing Ursula back to health,
help.
and he's talking to his compatriot named Ape, which is like a super intelligent. It might even be in the voice of the dude from fucking Monty Python. Hello, that guy.
Do
Ape's like super intelligent.
you want me to look that up?
What's his
Ape's
name?
voice.
George, Jeff. Anyways, yeah, go for it.
I'll look it up. Keep going.
And the weird thing is that he says he's looking at Ursula and she's passed out, and he's like noticed her breasts, and he's like, "This is a weird man."
Weird fella, yeah.
Yeah, the ape's like, "No, George, that's a woman it's an opposite sex of your species." And the thing that it bothers, I'm assuming you as well, is that George has been book read. He has learnt how to coexist with humans were there to come. And there were a couple of scenes when poachers came and he instantly knew to defend them. So poachers must have come and he must have had somewhat of an interaction with humans, right? Gotta be. Because he wasn't like, he was like, oh yeah, another human. I'm going to hold them.
Yeah, but every part of that movie is like that. He just accepts everything. Like when he's in the big city in San Francisco.
Because he's glamping, dude. Because he's
yeah,
a pimp.
Cool. Oh, look at those buildings.
Yeah, he's the king of the jungle. And we got to get on that bullshit as well.
Do
So,
you think?
but he didn't know what women were. He would have understood that straight away.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That there wasn't the actors, wasn't this or that. Was silly writing.
Yeah. Do you think, weird side note, unrealistic, but do you think Brendan Fraser did that and then, what's the other one? Encino Man? And Encino Man is far more realistic where he gets put into a modern day society and he's like, what's going on here?
Harder.
Because he didn't even get to react.
He didn't see No
in
Man
George of the
first,
Jungle.
though, bro. He didn't see No Man way.
Oh, did he
before.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, so wow, that upsets me.
Dude, look at the age difference.
That
I think
actually
he did the
upsets me.
Mummy after George of the Jungle. Yeah. Yeah, let that sink in.
That upsets
Dude,
me
look
a
at
lot.
if you look at it, dude, he's
Like that's a piss poor script to accept then for
Right.
George of the Jungle. If you've done Encino Man, you'd be like, oh, isn't this guy gonna like freak out when he goes to the city? But hey, it's a fun Disney movie, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. He's like maybe it was like 2 or 3 years in between when he did that. You can see the age.
Dude, the ape is John Cleese. Is that who you were thinking of? Yeah, okay, right. I didn't know that's
I'm
who you
John
were thinking
Cleese.
of.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lancelot. Yeah.
Of
Dude,
course.
I'm spot on.
Boom. Just didn't get the name, but we'll give it to him.
All right. What else we got? Well, we're just reading the notes so we can keep on track. So the strength of holding on. Yeah. So like back reiterating, like, dude, the shit he was pulling off. Like he was holding Ursula casually in one arm and swinging.
An unconscious human being, doesn't matter if she's tiny, doesn't matter if she weighs 50 kilos, an unconscious human being, they're awkward to hold. He's holding that in one hand and then he's swinging off a rope in the other hand. I don't know if anyone listening or everyone listening has ever tried to climb a rope. That shit's not easy.
Nah.
Climbing ropes is not easy. That is a fitness feat.
Fuck yeah. And
So-
dude, it was like all just shoulder and delt and lat, just like boom. And he wasn't like fidgeting. He was just like just Jesusing that shit
On the swings.
on the swings. Yeah.
What the fuck are the vines attached to?
Yeah. Come on, guys. What the fuck are there cranes sitting in the forest? Like
Helicopters.
you have to have in the Tarzan cartoon. It made sense. They're in dense foliage with trees, right? It's tall trees. There was like clear sky above him, and he's swinging like this. Like what the fuck?
Where is even the axis? Where's the pivot point? That tree is so tall.
Ridiculously
Yeah.
tall.
Where's the shadow? I don't understand.
I've got Ursula was preparing to leave George. Yeah, so like when George and Ursula become comfortable with each other and she's kind of got it established and like, okay, I'm safe. I'm in the forest. I've been here for about 2 days. They've mended me back to health. I'm sane again. Blah blah blah. She's like, I need to go back, and he's like, oh, okay. Blah blah blah. At no point was she like interrogating him. Maybe they wanted to. Maybe she did behind the scenes, and we only got to see them being in love. But she would have been like, "Oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? Where'd you come from? How can you speak English? Who's been taking care of you? Why is this monkey able to talk? Where did you learn how to read?
Well, she doesn't
You need
actually-
to come back with me
yeah.
to America. We need to take you back to
Yeah.
civilization. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, where was that?
Yeah,
It's a
you're
kids.
right.
It's a kids show.
It's a
rom-
kids movie.
I just hate it though. It's not enough for me. I need realism. Come on, dog.
So, you're right, and the whole thing as well, like the monkey talking. She only accepts that near the end of the movie because the monkey then pretends not to talk because she keeps passing out of like disbelief that the monkey's talking. So she passes out twice, and the monkey's like, "Oh, I better pretend I can't talk,"
That
which is
level
funny.
of
It's funny, but
Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
it's kids funny.
It's kids funny, but dude, with that level of intellect, and he still doesn't know the difference between male and females, get the fuck out of here.
George, what are you doing, man?
When he's on the plane, he was calm, not freaking out. Again, there could have been like 6 hours of him on the plane, nervously freaking out, and then she calms him down. Then we only see the one scene where he wakes up and he's.
I
got
will defend him there.
Mhm.
He did just get shot in the head.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but
Get shot in the head.
he wakes up, he'd still be like, are we still on the plane? Yeah, we are. Calm down. We're fine. We're going to be okay. Okay, we're going to be okay. Okay. Cool.
You're right. You're right.
Right. I've also got the two hunters. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. When Lyle Vandergroot catches up with Ursula, Lyle,
what are you doing here?
And he
She says
fin-
that every time. What are
Yeah.
you doing here? That's like her tagline. Because at the start, he's like, oh, that's a way to greet your fiance.
Yeah. Lyle fuck ass
Vander Klug.
Vander Klug, yeah. So Lyle finally catches up. This is before they go back to America, and he's like, Ursula, come with me. And there's a bit of a scuffle. The hunters, I forgot to mention, Lyle came with 2 hunters, right? White people who were complaining the whole fucking way. One dude's wearing decked out in leather.
Yeah, but they're not just complaining. They're plotting.
They're plotting to capture
They're there for a reason.
an exotic animal. And
Because
then
they've heard about this white ape, which is referring to George.
So they're very disappointed when they find out it's a human. And then they see an elephant, they want the ivory, and then they find a talking monkey, all that shit, ape. But at one point, George gets shot in the head accidentally, but it must
With
have
a
been
tiny gun.
Tiny
So
gun.
it's okay.
Must have been a
Those guns
graze.
probably don't. Yeah, but do you think a pistol like that big would even pierce a skull from that distance?
I reckon it go. Yeah, probably not that distance. He was about 10 meters away. Eh? Maybe
Because
about
I remember
5 meters.
watching Back to the Future 3, and he's about to shoot Doc. What's his name? Tannen.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog Tannen is about to shoot Doc at that fair, and he's got this tiny little pistol that he hid from the guys that take the pistols, and he digs it into his back. He's like, last time I shot someone with this, it took them 2 days to die. They bled out from the spine. So, like, those little pistols, they pierce a hole in you. And maybe back in the day
Surgeon
when you
can't get it
couldn't,
out.
yeah, but
And it's
no,
got a
back
bit
in
of
the day
cloth.
when you didn't know how to do surgery, sure
Yeah.
that worked,
That
but
shit would have been
nowadays,
medieval back in the Wild West.
yeah, but
and if there's a
modern
bit of
day,
cloth,
they would just be like, fix him up.
Exactly. And a lot of the problems back then as well was like a bit of fabric from the clothing gets in there and gets infected as well. Foreign object.
oh yeah,
Scary as
infections. They had
fuck.
no idea
So you
how
can
to
pull
treat that.
You can pull out a fucking pellet like a bullet, but finding a bit of cloth, that's difficult.
How did they work out that like alcohol does good things for infections? Like, you know how they like
Trial
put some
and
whiskey on it? Yeah, trial.
Yeah, who the
Everything is trial and error, bro.
For
Who the
real.
fuck invented a corn fritter? Like, what the fuck?
No,
How did we invent anything?
it makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense. How did we invent wine? Wine, okay, I get it. Could have been an accident. Some grapes sitting there. They got old. They built some fluid, and they were like, "Oh, what's this fluid? Oh, it smells good. Let's try that."
Slap. Yeah.
But like everything else, like vodka or tequila, like you should look at the process that goes into making those liquids. Who the fuck
Yeah.
thought of that?
Vodka's potato, isn't it?
Vodka's potato.
See, that kind of makes sense when you think about it. Like, Yuri, go get the potatoes from a month
Yeah,
ago.
you reckon accident as well? They saw a liquid, the potatoes were sitting there for too long, the right temperatures, and they were like, hey, we got to replicate this. This shit's good. It makes
Yeah.
us feel funny.
Yeah, it helps me forget about my depressing life in fucking Eastern Europe. Yeah.
I've said this to you before, but back in the old days, like 1800s and before, right? All these stories we hear, all these heroic stories or stories of someone doing something, they're all passed down word of mouth, right? Before people started writing shit down. Well, they did,
Ass
but
to
not
mouth.
everyone. Ass to mouth. But not everyone was writing shit down. Only the people that had the equipment or the know-how.
Mhm.
So it's all just stories. And all these people, substances were not controlled. All these people would have been drunk 24/7. Who the fuck made rules? No, you can't be drunk on the job site while you're building the cathedral. He was drinking vodka in the morning.
Fuck yeah.
They were on all sorts of shit before cocaine became illegal.
And
People
look,
were just
these,
like
these
chewing on
monuments.
coca leaves.
Hana, one Hana, and the monuments are still sitting there today.
So all these
Dude.
stories are people that are just fucked on every sort of substance,
Dude.
living their life like that, dying at the age of 50,
Mhm.
which was
red,
old.
Red meat and fucking, yeah. But dude, think about, I think I mean the Reinheitsgebot even. It's like at one point you couldn't drink water in Europe. So they used to drink beer.
Jesus, is that a thing? Is
I
that
thought,
a real
I thought
fact?
you told me that, but that is a fucking fact, bro. They used to drink beer, dog.
The Reinheitsgesetz was just someone that was like made good beer, and they
Bro.
were like, okay, we're not going to put all this other shit in it.
Everyone
If you want to
drank
release beer, you have to use only these ingredients to call it German beer. That was like the blanket rule, and that's what the Reinheitsgebot
And they kept
is.
it to this day, man. It's not full of
Ooh.
additives and sugar,
Oh,
and it still tastes amazing.
Can I just get an XPA? Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, how dare you?
The Reinheitsgebot is where it's at. says me while I'm drinking Canadian Club and soda water.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm trying to get the abs back popping, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's summer. Summer's almost over.
Almost
There's
over,
no popping
dog.
abs.
All right,
damn it.
I can't find the video, but all right. So my next one was Schlein. That's gone out. That's
Yeah.
fine. So we've lost a light,
No
everyone.
plug-in. We've lost a
So
light.
you mentioned as well with the bridge.
Oh, yes. So there's a scene in the film where a guy, he's wandering the streets because he sees an advert on TV
Who's the guy?
about
George.
George. Sorry, yeah,
He's
George.
in San Francisco.
He's in San Francisco and he sees an advert on TV while the girl, I've lost her name.
Ursula.
is, I just think of Ariel every time I hear Ursula. Big octopus.
Fuck.
That's
man.
Ursula, bro. That's an Ursula to me. I don't see Ursula as a
Was
blonde.
that the villain from
yeah,
Ariel?
she's the octopus villain.
Oh, true. That bitch was thick, son.
Thick.
Long story short,
Anyway.
someone's swinging on the bridge, and it's a real stunt.
It's a real stunt. So he's saving a guy that's stuck with his parachute in the Bay Bridge of San Francisco.
We'll have a clip here.
And he decides to swing off the top of the Bay Bridge. And we were looking at it pretty closely, and it looks like a real stunt.
That shit was
There is a
real.
real stuntman swinging on a rope. And they actually make it look like he's swinging one-handed. So I'm assuming I saw one tiny, tiny snippet as he approaches the guy that's hanging.
You saw the rigging.
I saw the rope with like a thicker red bit underneath. So I saw the rigging. So there's a rig that goes to a harness. #safety.
Hashtag safety, dog.
But
Gotta be
that
100 with
shit-
it.
That shit is crazy.
Which is fucking scary, bro.
But
And
also,
it wasn't
again,
the Golden Gate, though.
no, it wasn't a gold. We
Bay
thought it would be a
Bridge.
Golden Gate. It's a Bay Bridge, but also that brings it back to the strength. Like imagine swinging off the Bay Bridge
Mhm.
with one hand on a rope, saving a guy.
Mhm.
How often do people with parachutes get stuck?
Fuck
Only when
knows,
George
man.
is there.
Only when George is there, yeah.
Only when George is in town.
It's just fucking all in a day's work for George saving that dude, eh? Oh, yeah, but also, we also mentioned that there was a scene just before he leaves the house. Ursula's like, all right, I'm going to domesticate you now. You stay here. I have to go to
This
work.
is what you can do. Watch TV, do this, eat, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he starts eating all these donuts and junk food.
Like, dude, at first, his body wouldn't be used to that amount of sugar and
He
shit.
would be shitting.
He'd be shitting. He'd be throwing up. He'd have like mad bloating. You'd need to go to the emergency room. It's fucking so wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong.
His body's not used to that.
Those burners put the monkey into a cage, those hunters. Okay, yeah, so here's another thing I wrote down, right? Meanwhile, while George is in San Fran, those hunters, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, so George gets shot in the head, or the hunters are there, they were going to shoot the elephant, flicks to George on the plane on his way to America, and the hunters are back down in the village, way thousands of miles.
Because they got arrested. They were in jail and they got
yeah.
let out because they're being deported. But instead of being put on a plane and actually being deported, they just get let out.
They get
Like,
let
yeah,
out.
just roam this town for a bit while we figure out how to deport you. What? Makes no fucking sense.
Exactly. They go back up the mountain to collect this talking monkey. So
So
while
I want to put it in showbiz,
Right.
obviously. Businessman, smart.
Mhm. King Kong,
King Kong.
miniaturized. Here's a
Boom.
funny thing. I watched a video maybe like 4 days ago. It was like a YouTube short of this person feeding a monkey like open bars somewhere in
Yeah, and he
some-
grabs his shirt.
grabs him and the dude's like, ah, come on, let me ah.
Yeah.
And like the monkey's like, nah, dude.
Brutal.
Dude, like
so strong.
so strong. This monkey, sorry, I don't keep calling monkey. This ape, literally, there's a million times these two people capture the ape and they're dragging it through the forest and they're getting led in circles. And at no point the ape decides, the ape's an intellectual, but the ape surely must know that I could break this motherfucking human's forearm just by going like that. At
Yeah.
no point did it reach through, snap that cunt's
Yeah,
neck.
because it knows. He's very calm, you know? He's like, yeah.
But the problem
I'll
is,
get out of this.
it knows that those guys are he's leading him in circles. But if they get frustrated and hostile in the heat, fucking that, boom, they're going to shoot that fucking ape and kill it
Yeah.
out of frustration.
Sell
Fuck
it for
the
some
talking
ape
monkey. Survival means like if they're doing, dude, if you're circling around in the jungle and you're supposed to get back to the boat 3 days ago and you've been circling the jungle for nearly 2 weeks, you're running out of rations, you need water. If a monkey keeps taunting you, fuck the monkey survival, bro. You're going to shoot that fucking monkey, drink its blood, fucking eat
Drink its blood.
eat its
yeah,
red-
what are they drinking? They're walking this mountain.
Exactly.
There's creeks there. Or must be.
So again, poor writing. They should have made the cage a bit scarier, a bit thinner. And that way the monkey would have felt a bit more oppressed.
Also, that cage appeared out of nowhere.
Pit out of nowhere. They must have.
They didn't cut that up there.
Nah, no way.
They built it with their bare hands.
If they made the monkey more oppressed, then that would have been more of like an achievement for George. George would have saved it. The monkey would have, had more of a reason to like beat the shit out of these guys. It would have made more sense.
Do you think it's because they can't make it too scary for the kids?
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then we've got.
Are we getting onto the dynamic of the parents?
Yes. Okay, so when George is in San Francisco and throughout the film, we're introduced to the parents. The mum is a complete hierarchy, ladder chasing, wealthy.
Status chasing.
Status
she needs
chasing.
the status.
Wasp. She's a white Anglo-Saxon fucking wasp, like
And you
pompous.
see subtly, you see them drop in there that they own the fucking bank. Their last name is on the bank.
Yeah.
So they are wealth.
Well, I mean, Ursula takes George shopping and she just buys him Armani suits.
Yeah.
She
whatever.
drips him the foot, dude. Like, my man is dripped out. Fucking best tan I've ever seen. Would he have that good of a tan though? Because he is.
Absolutely.
Well, he is chilling in the dank forest.
Yeah, but he's out in the sun all the time.
He would have
doesn't
been.
have a
right.
house. He's not watching TV.
They don't show
Oh,
the
actually,
part.
he has a tree house.
They
but-
don't show the part where they take George to the skin clinic and get some skin cancers cut out. They didn't show that.
Yeah. Whoa.
Here's the thing, right? So the mother
Conditioned,
was
bro. His skin's conditioned.
The mother was a complete cunt, but she was so controlling that the dad was whipped. The dad would be like, "Honey, just leave us alone. Let her make up
Sorry.
her own mind."
Not so much whipped, but the dad is the nice guy, right?
He's submissive.
like, my daughter
He's
wants
submissive, let's be honest.
My daughter wants something else. I'm the nice guy. Like, let's not force her into something she doesn't want. But the mother is obviously the one
Yeah.
taking the reins here.
Ursula confesses that she doesn't want to marry Lyle Vandergroot, and the mum's like, "Fuck you! Like we would step up in status."
This is where I was looking for what the Vandergroot, where that wealth came from. They never gave it to me.
No,
they
that's-
never go back into the background. But she's like, "You are marrying Lyle Vandergroot," and I'm like, "But for what reason? It must be another rich family that she's happy
bro.
to join with, or whatever."
I think maybe it was up to the actor who played Lyle to display that like this guy's never lifted a finger in his life.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
mm,
It kind of because I recently watched Titanic. It kind of reminds me of Cal in
Billy
Titanic.
Zane. Billy Zane, yeah.
Is that his name?
Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, that guy, yeah. Black hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great in Titanic, by the way, and he is
He's really good.
He's also in Back to the Future. He's one of Biff's friends. That was
No
one of his very
shit.
earliest.
He must have been
roles.
young as.
Yeah, he's got he's got one line I think in one of the movies.
I'll have to watch that.
It's-
Imagine saying you were in. It's one thing to say, yeah, I was in Star Wars, but imagine saying you're in Back to the Future, bro. That's dope.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
That's
And I'm
sick.
tying other movies into it, but like Cal from Titanic, that
He was a
whole-
cunt,
that
yeah.
rich life, that
Mm.
wealth from his dad, but he's talking like businessman. A real man makes his own luck.
And he was so cocky that he's used to having any women throw themselves at him. So he's like, Rose, come here. Why aren't you being like normal women are? Why are you refusing me, you bitch? You
But
know?
it's always weird, and same as George of the Jungle, it's always weird that they have this obsession with getting that one particular girl.
It's about control, dude.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
want that prize. Like in George of the Jungle, very, very rapey. He literally
He
forces
manhandles this woman.
but he also literally forces her to marry him at the end.
Yeah.
He gets what is it?
ordained
This yeah.
by some weird religious cult that's somehow connected to Catholicism, and he has the fucking collar.
Yeah, I can now wed people.
Yeah.
Now you will be my wife. Like, what's the obsession, bro? Like,
I
she
know.
clearly wants the jungle guy, and Rose clearly wants Jack, who's in third class, which meant everything back in those days,
Mhm.
1912.
Yeah.
Jesus
all.
Christ.
All right, so here's the thing. The dad is so whipped. And let's like in a way, like he's not whipped. He's not whipped, but he's too complacent. And we agreed he's running the bank. He wasn't just like having someone run the bank for him.
It's his name.
When Ursula visits, he's like running the bank, right? he's like in a room full of people dictating. Someone like that has to be hardcore. They got to be a good negotiator. They have to have, will, strength. People coming in there trying to, I want to make a deal. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to call the cops. So he's got to be strong-willed. Comes home.
Right, wouldn't even call the cops. He'd be like, shut the fuck up. This is my company.
Yeah.
You want to get fired?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like I brought up the fact that I think he would be, because he looks so whipped in front of the mum. And you said, why is he being such a wimp? And I was like, it's probably only her. It's only the wife. He's probably a super strong character.
Yeah.
Until it comes to his wife, where there's one scene where he literally says, she's a pain in my ass. Or a pain in the ass.
Why put up with that shit?
Why is she a pain in his ass, Joel?
So, fuck no. Oh, well, So,
whoa!
So, it's like we agreed, like, and we've seen it. I've never looked at the literature on this, but they've made enough movies about it that I'm thinking there are studies. But you always see movies where, there's like a dominatrix or some like woman with like a whip and like a leather whipping a guy's ass, and it's a businessman, right?
The guy is powerful, right?
Powerful and wealthy. He's like,
what is that?
Choke me and fuck me, like maybe. So like the rich and the wealthy are so used to kicking ass that they just want to be dominated. Like, where does that come from, right?
Why do they do that? Why do successful people that have all this power in their careers, for instance, or careers, jobs, maybe in their social circle with their friends, golfing, I don't know, and they are the powerful person. And then when they get behind closed doors, they just want to be like demeaned by their woman or by whoever, or like.
Here's the thing. You never see it with a man, like a woman being the one, like a rich, strong businesswoman who wants it. So it's always a man. So
she doesn't want to get torn down. No.
It's mummy issues, never feeling like they're enough for their mother or their father.
Maybe it would, maybe it was handed to them. And they felt like they never.
Let's ask someone.
You want to phone a friend?
Yeah, let's phone a friend. Let's phone Brown Herb, shall we?
Let's phone a friend.
We're calling our friend Josh Big Dick Herb Brown.
You're speaking with the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah, there he is.
Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Fucking Brownie.
Thank God that was you guys.
Could you imagine?
This is Lydia from the bank. We just want to tell you that your last transaction was blocked.
This is Constable Ron. We have surveillance footage of you running a red light doing a line. Brown Herb, how you doing, my man?
I'm well, and yourselves?
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's a Sunday, it's fucked, but it's whatever.
Are we live right now?
We're live, homeboy, we live. All right,
Damn.
So we've just watched George of the Jungle. It's part of a thing we're doing. We're watching older films and just breaking them down. And I'm
aware. I'm a long-time listener.
Nice.
Oh, did you do the poll, dude?
No, I didn't. No, I'm
We forgive you.
I can't even make up an excuse.
So we came to the conclusion that George's. I'm not sure if you remember Brendan Fraser's George of the Jungle. Did you ever see that?
Ripped to shreds.
What? What do you mean ripped to shreds? Oh,
Brendan Fraser's ripped to shreds, bro. Yeah,
godlike, bro.
Oh, big time. But yeah, I vaguely remember it, yeah.
I got a poster. It's like, I vaguely remember you got a poster of him in your bathroom. And Mrs. is like, can we take that down, Josh? You're like, no.
This is why I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Over my dead body.
In the movie, the Ursula, his love interest, takes him back to San Francisco, and she comes from a wealthy family, and the mum's a total cunt. The dad's super successful, but he's like super, super whipped towards the mum, right? Submissive as fuck. And we came to the conclusion that a lot of rich businessmen like to be
powerful men,
like to be dominated. They like to get whipped by dominatrix and get pegged and all this shit.
Because they're not used to it.
Okay, so here's the thing. We wanted your opinion. Why do you think that is? Break it down.
Because they're so used to being in control that there's no one that's like above. If you're rich and powerful, and everyone's below you in a sense, I guess.
Spit on everyone.
You want to be the one who is under the thumb for once. You want to be the one who's taking the beating and what.
And you would get. Why does it have to be sexual gratification though? Like why do they get a fucking boner from it?
Everything comes back to sex.
I see. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
That's deep, Josh. Elaborate.
No, Josh, wait, before you elaborate, I just got to say, like, Phil's always like, fuck, man, you're a fiend. Because whenever Phil and I are out, I'm like, dude, look at her, look at her, look at her. Like, my life is dictated by.
Hey,
fucking, bro, like-
I think you're about to go and make a point that I don't think that things come back to sex. I 100% do, but I just feel like I tiptoe around it a lot harder and then hone in a different way.
Yeah.
Delve in.
Yeah.
Just give into it. It's,
The thirst always wins,
The
bro.
thirst wins.
I'm a caveman.
Yeah, we're
You know,
cavemen. We're
me-
sexual beings.
Me kill biggest beast, get best pussy.
It's what is it? What's that thing Darwin said? It's like not the food chain. Fuck, it's
I don't know what the fuck
help
you're
me
talking
out,
about.
help me out here. Natural selection.
Natural selection.
Selection. This is going swimmingly.
All right, bro. Take it easy, man. Let us know when you're coming
Thanks for the call, guys. I'll talk to you.
See ya.
by. Catch ya.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
Brownie, we love you, dog.
Long-time listener. Self-proclaimed long-time listener.
Oh,
What a man.
what a legend.
What a true man. Well, there you have it. Now
Yeah.
we have the third opinion on the masculinity depletion obsession
Mhm.
by the powerful man.
Mm. So yeah, George of the Jungle. Look, it was good. Definitely would have to watch it again with my kids, maybe.
Super cheesy.
I'd
Yeah,
probably
show
have
your
to-
kids.
Probably have to have a couple of your Van Liters. What are you drinking today? Canadian Club.
Canadian Club, soda, nice and shred life.
Whiskey and rum. No, what is it? Rum and Coke.
Whiskey and rum, could you imagine?
Rumski.
1 liter of whiskey and rum.
Fuck, I don't know.
Mixed with some Coca-Cola, hopefully.
It's good shit. Look like Coca-Cola. My teeth are itching now. But yeah, George of the Jungle was alright. Definitely would prefer to watch something a bit more compelling next time.
Mm.
I think we need Sky High was dope, and thank you for voting those who voted. But I think we got to steer clear of these.
Sky High was, in my opinion, far better.
Of course, it
Far
was.
better film.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe that I barely remembered watching Sky High until I actually was watching it. And I was like, hey, I know what happens here.
Mm.
Really disappointed in myself. But hey, the next few should be good. We got some good options there. Please send us your vote. It's very easy. Scroll down, click the option. Scroll down and click the option.
Goblin.
Joel, the best kids show on TV back in our day.
Oh, hey Arnold.
Wrong! Absolutely wrong!
What?
Absolutely incorrect!
What was your favorite kids show? So fucking. Are you alright?
Nerf gun to the throat right there. Wow. If you didn't realize while you're listening, we just Nerf gunned each other with the off the top of your head
You got
challenge.
nerfed.
You got nerfed!
Yeah, on 3. Look at your camera. 1, 2, 3. You got nerfed. No,
right.
like you got nerfed on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You got nerfed! Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.